Hello, my name is Emmanuel, and today I'll be talking about progressive image loading. Progressive image loading is a technique that smartly loads an image by demand using small placeholders while the original image is being lazy loaded. As you can see on the screen, I have my HTML file and also my CSS document and also the JavaScript, which consists of various functions in order to achieve progressive image loading on a web browser. I'll start by talking about what I have on my HTML document. Most importantly, I have inside the main tag, I have my H1, which consists of the write-ups and lazy loading image, and then I have the picture tag, and also inside the picture tag I have the image tag, and then I have the src, which links to my placeholder image, and then I have the data src, which also links to my actual image that I'll be using for this project, and then the alt attributes, which gives the name of each, or helps me identify each of these pictures that I'm going to be using for this project. Also, before there, I have my link attribute, of the link tag, which refers to the CSS styling, and then I also have my script tag, which refers to my JavaScript file that consists of the function that will be used for this project. So on my JavaScript, I have my main attribute, and then I put in the various functions that needs to take place on the web browser, and also the same for the image data src, and also for the image, which is the actual image itself, which consists of the placeholder and the transition and the blurry effect that will take place on each of the picture that will be loaded on a web browser. Now, on the JavaScript, in creating these functions, first of all, we have to find all our images. So we need to get images that are specifically with the data src. So we need to declare the constant of a function scope here, which is equal to document.query selector all, and then we have our css rule, which we have here, the css rule, which is image in parentheses data src, and we need to call on that css rule in this parentheses in order for this to work. Also, we have optional parameters that are being set for the intersectional sectional observer. Also, we also need to declare the constant of the scope here, another constant here, which is load image. So what we actually want this function to do is for us to be able to load the image itself, and set this image when loaded sets an attribute to src, and then that same image also will get an attribute which is data src. So when we look for these, for example this image here, which is the src, automatically it gives us, which is the placeholder, automatically it gives us the actual image inside the data src here. So, and then we have image unload, and then image remove attributes, so of the same data src. And then secondly, we need to also check to see if our intersection observer is supported. So we have the if function, which consists of our intersection observer in a window format. Now when we declare the constant here, observer equals new intersection observer, we have the items and then the observer. Now the items is going to be for each item, because we are going to work on each pictures to load and have the effects on each of them, and we don't want everything to just load, every picture to just load at once, but we want each of the picture to load with the effect on them. So the pictures, as I have on my browser here, they load. I just have to refresh or reload this page so we can have a clue of what that function helps us to do. So the picture loads, which is this. Now the next one also loads, and we see the blurry effect that appears. So they don't just appear all together at once, except I have to scroll down some few meters, and then in order to be able to load the image itself. When we reload, we get to see the blurry effect that appears, and I'll be talking about that in a moment from now, and the minutes, seconds that are attributed to these blurry effects that appears on the screen. So I'll go back to my JavaScript page. So we also have the images to load function, where we have for each, as we have said already earlier on, and then each image has to load and each image has to be observed as well. Now a situation where all these functions doesn't come up, we have the else, which says the images have to load ordinarily as it is expected to load ordinarily without any of the function. So back to my CSS rule. We can find on the CSS rule, in the CSS rule here, we can find on the main, I set my display to grid, and then I have a display a grid template column of 1FR, and then the grid gap of each picture is set for 100 pixels. So what I mean by that is that each picture, between one picture to another, the gap here consists of 100 pixels. Also, the text element is set to be aligned in the center, at the center, and then also the items too at the center. And then I give a margin top of 400 pixels so that we can be able to see the effect of these images as they load. So between the top here to this lazy loading image consists of 400 pixels. So what I have to do right now with all these functions in my JavaScript that will enable me have this progressive image loading on my web browser, and also on my CSS, the image attribute, I had to set the transition filter to 3 seconds so we can be able to see the progressive way the blurry effect dissolves or leaves the picture, and then the picture itself produces the right content for us to see. So the main reason for this is that whenever we want to go to a website, what we set these functions for at the JavaScript is for us to be able to, the user to be able to see probably the first picture, and then the second picture doesn't have to load. Okay, With this function, it helps our website loads faster. So the second picture doesn't have to load immediately. So the first picture loads, which is what I have down here. And then, for example, if I refresh this page or reload this page, it shows that this is what happens when my image, my website loads. So the first picture loads, and then I don't get to see anything on the second picture until I'm able to scroll down and then get to load what's the content of the second picture. I believe you can see the blurry effect on it. Same goes for the third picture. See? So the picture doesn't actually load when I open up this website. It takes time. It takes time for it to load when I scroll down to the next picture, and it shows me the blurry effect also, same as this. So the blurry effect is set to 3 seconds in order for us to have a clear view of this web page. So that is that for now, and I hope I am able to help you understand a little techniques that deals with progressive image loading. Thank you.